Good evening, one and all. Hope you all are doing fine. This is Sonia Flavin, teacher from BYD World School, welcoming you all to our 14th episode of Prep Talk Show. Dr. Yashwantrao Dode World School has been keeping pace with the changing trends in the education system. Besides the core focus on academics and co-curricular activities, it also aims in inducing a professional career outlook or by helping the students to acquire the wisdom for the profession. Now, we all agree that this era is of specialization and there are so many unconventional professions to be unfolded besides the traditional ones. So, to avoid this confusion and the junctions of the future path, we gear up our students from grade 6 onwards by guiding them to prepare for the competitive exams like IIT, CET, NEET, NATA, NID, UCED, and many more. The Prep Talk Show is to create awareness and expose the young minds to a various career options. So over to our host, Mr. Rajesh Anand, a well-known personality of the performing art world, and he's also associated with DYD World School for over many years now. Today, he will be interacting with a well-established pharmacist. So you all can write to us your questions in the chat box. Also, before we move ahead, do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. So without further ado, let's get started. Over to you, Rajesh sir.
Good evening, everyone. This is Rajesh Anand. Welcome to this fresh news segment by Dr. Yashwantrao Dode World School, a candid chat with professionals for aspiring professionals called the Prep Talk. DYD School is ICSC affiliated school in Mulund. Academics along with dance, drama, music, yoga, and sports activities. We are preparing students for various subjects and various things in our activities center, like the sports activities. We are also preparing students for various competitive exams right from grade 6 onwards. As a student of grade 6 is almost 12 years old and is on the threshold of development aspects like critical thinking, abstract thinking, better concept understanding. So this age when a child can be counseled and guided. Before we begin, I would like to add that this talk show will be followed by an open question answer session. So feel free to write your questions to our guest in the chat box. Also, do not forget to post your comments on today's show, as it will help us to upgrade and improve the show as we go on. And lastly, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now, we know that understanding a profession is the first step towards this preparation. And what better way could be to know much more about the profession than a well-established person of the stream. Today, we have here with us Mr. Swapnil. We have here with us Mr. Swapnil Wachkawde, a pharmacy graduate, passionate in inventing new, more powerful and profitable ways in brand building and turning the customer insight into business ideas that generate profits. Studied at the Bombay College of Pharmacy and IES Management College, worked with Sunpharma, McLeod's, Wenbury, Acumentis, instrumental in creating brands like Aerorb, Aerozob, C-Pink, C-Dens, all 9. Expertise in ortho and gyna segment. Sir, on behalf of our chairperson, Mrs. Shweta Dode ma'am, our secretary, Rajesh Dode sir, and our academic director, Dr. Piyush Darasaran ma'am, and the entire school management, I would like to welcome you on board the Prep Talk.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thanks for inviting me.
So it is wonderful having you here, sir. Sir, there is so much that has been written, that has been said, and there is so much that I have absorbed from here. Sir, tell us about your professional journey so far.
Okay, brilliant. As you've already briefed that what I have done and what is the background, but let me just quickly brief them about what kind of work we do so that it becomes very easy to understand the journey all across. Okay, so I will take some time to share my screen here.
Sure, sir. We'll be more than happy to see, sir.
Can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now this is a company which everybody knows, or most of them wouldn't know also. But it's a very big company, that's I sure. Now, generally, this company makes tractors, right? This company makes tractors. Now, but many of you, or rather very few of us, know that this company also sells this, Royal Enfield. Now, the entire objective of this, to show you this, was just a minute. Give me a minute. Let me
Sure,
go
sir.
back to it. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Yes. The entire objective of sharing this was, now the same company is having two products. One, most of us don't know. One, everybody knows. And that is, in simple language, is brand building. Royal Enfield as a product has taken this company, which was nowhere, to a level where everybody, not in India, but internationally, knows it. Now, just to start with, as you said, the professional journey, as most of us didn't knew what to be done after B Farm, I was also the same. But fortunately, what happened was, there is a process of getting a pre-placement, and you get into a company, and there is nothing better than that. So even that happened to me, and I got into manufacturing segment, where you manufacture drugs. What you see at the chemist level, we talk about tablets, we talk about capsules, we talk about syrups, we talk about lotions. That is something which I was manufacturing. Now, from there, I went into sales, selling of these drugs, but the passion was always getting into the hardcore marketing and brand management. And after that, I shifted from manufacturing to sales and then to marketing. Now, just to give you a small gist into it, about the profession, why I want to tell you this is very important. Now, if you talk about various professions or the chat shows or various other people who would have interacted with people, okay, there are certain professions which require specific skills. Like if you want to play cricket, if you want to sing, if you want to dance, or many other, if you want to do an architecture, you have to go and be drawing. So there are certain aspects that most of the professions will require a skill which has to be in you. But this is a profession where the skill can be developed, and there's an opportunity to all. You don't have to be a good batsman to be you have to be a good batsman to be a cricketer, right? If you don't play good cricket, you can't be a cricketer. You can aspire to be a cricketer, but that skill has to be inbuilt. But this is a profession where you have a choice that if you still don't have the skill, it can be developed and you can reach great heights.
Wonderfully said, sir. I hope all the kids are listening. Sir has said a very important point here, saying that even if you don't have a skill, that skill can be developed. To be a cricketer, you need to have a skill. You need to have your hand-eye coordination first, and then that skill will be brushed into a further level, like into a fielding or a batting or a bowling or whatever. But here, sir has said, even if you don't have a skill, still you can manage by doing whatever sir is going to guide us now. Sir, I just want to ask you, how and when did you decide to pursue this course? Because it's so different. this is for the first time that we are also listening to somebody from the pharma world. How did you decide to pursue this job, sir?
Because unfortunately, this question is something has been asked to me everywhere when I take lectures also. But the answer to it, is really, really funny to me. I joined this course by default. You heard me right, it was by default. Okay. Most of us would have seen Three Idiots, right?
Yeah,
Kids as well. On the TV, it is running.
absolutely, sir.
So race was on. Race was on and on. And like every parent, they wanted their kid to be engineer or doctor or a pilot or something like that. And the race was really on. And in my case, it was the race to be a doctor.
Wow.
Okay. But being an average student, scored 70%. In 12th standard, to be precise, 73. But thought that, chalo, there's an opportunity. Let's work hard on the entrance because you have a second chance over here. So thought that let us do that. Worked hard there, but still scored 90% there. But
Wow.
in Mumbai, the 90% is also not enough to get admissions in a Bombay college.
Oh,
Practically impossible to get in colleges in Mumbai, I'm talking.
okay.
I was very specific that I wanted to study in Mumbai only.
Okay.
So what was next? The next best thing was pharmacy to be done. Because pharmacy with that kind of marks, I
Is
was
impossible?
getting in one of the best colleges in Mumbai. Okay. Medicine was impossible. Yes. And so that was ruled out because I never wanted to go out. But the next thing was, yes, pharmacy, which was there. And you were going to get that in the best college in Mumbai. And so I thought, let's take that. And I got into this kind of a course, which is there. Now, when I got into this kind of a course, as I told you, I got only by default. But when I got into it, I understood, oh, this is really good. There are n number of avenues open to you now, which might have not been there if I would have gone for medical, because that was strict, being a doctor. Here, you have multiple opportunities to do it. And as I went from my first year to second year to third year, it was something we are exploring more and more and more things. And one more thing I came to know about this course when I was doing it, that this is the only course where you can get from a 0 level to top level from 3 different aspects. Okay, one, of course, is the academics. That is very, very, very important. But there is another aspect also. If you do not do well into the academics, there is one more opportunity for the students to do well. Now, what happens is, whenever I take my budget meetings or, I take any of the development programs for my team members or any of the colleges, I ask them this question that, more to my team members, that why have you joined this course, or why have you come to this pharmacy profession? And I'm surprised to say the answer, perhaps not completely with me, but is the same from them, because they also say, sir, we also came by default. Because if you ask somebody, Brajesh, if you ask somebody that, what do you want to become when you are big, right? You will say, I want to be a pilot, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a cricketer, and henceforth things, right? Will anybody say, I want to be a medical representative?
Chances are very less, sir.
Very less. Okay. Chance means minimal. Means if I talk from the parents' point of view also, they would say that, what medical representative? It is that. But just looking at this is a profession where a medical representative also becomes the CEO of the company. If I talk right now of the pharma industry, which is the biggest in Mumbai, because Mumbai is the hub for pharma industry. 90% of the people sitting at the top for the GM or the CEO levels are from sales. Right from sales, right, spending their time on field. Because if you ask any of the marketing guy, he will always say that the more you are connected to your customers, the more insights you get. And being on field, doing that MR job is the best place to connect with your customers. One more thing to this is that, that if you are at the lowest bottom of the pyramid also, if you're not able to excel, because I have examples in my companies or my previous companies also. People at the bottom level of the pyramid, that is the company bottom level, can earn 8 to 10 lakh rupees of incentive per year. And that's a good thing. A person who is at the bottom of the company can take home 8 to 10 lakh rupees extra other than his income. Nothing like it, right?
Absolutely.
And that's when I realized that, oh, if I fail certain times also, there is an option to go ahead at the top. And that's the reason I said, oh, this is the best one to do now. This is the best course to pursue.
Excellent, sir. Sir, the first person that I have met that, who said that, after doing the course, I have fallen in love with this. So to all the little ones who are watching, I just want to say that, the way sir is talking, I'm sure that you will fall in love with the course before taking it and before even understanding it. So I really want to thank you for this particular thing that you have said, that, that I didn't know much about it, but I started doing it and then I loved it.
That's a fact, because see, till 6 years, 7 years down the line, if you agree with me, we were using a 2 GB data for a month's time.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Take 15 years back, you were hardly having access to free internet like this.
Absolutely.
So understanding and getting the guidance that what is there for you, it was practically impossible to understand everything. It was only the flamboyant things which this is the one you need to do because it gives you a social status, and and you run behind that. And that is why I started this answer with that 3 idiots thing, because it correlates with you. Because everyone wants to go and fight the race. But
Absolutely.
if you have something which can give you an opportunity to come out of it, and after certain kind of setbacks also, this is the course to get into that.
Absolutely, sir. Fantastic. Sir, I just want to know, what are the different job avenues, after doing pharma? Okay. How does this umbrella open into, and what all it opens into, after you finish with your pharma?
Okay.
Pharmacy, sorry.
Now, if you talk about pharma, let me go the scientific way first, and then we'll make it simpler for the kids. Okay. Scientific way is that you have 3 things into it. One is that a person can get into his further studies, that is MPharm, PhDs. Okay, that's one avenue. One, he can get to the work aspects which is there. The second aspect is that you can get into management studies. That is, you do your MBAs and all those things, and you get into brand marketing. There is another aspect to it where you go into the analytical work. There is one more avenue where you have the undercutters who check the policies, and also you have job in that life insurance policy schemes as well. So these are the different aspects which open up, means right from academics to all. But let me put it very simple way for the kids. Okay, now I would say if you are a student, or if you are a person who likes advertising, okay, this is a course for you, because it opens you that aspects also. There is in pharma advertising firms which are there. You can design, and that's your job profile also, to design campaigns, to design the promos, to design the advertisement. So a person who likes advertising can get into this. So a person doesn't have to think that मेरे को M Farm करना है, मेरे को B Farm, मेरे को PhDs करना है. If I like advertising, let me get into it. That's one aspect also. If there's a person who likes to do business, he has a business mind of thing. So he can also get into it. Right from a small thing to start up his own shop because you get your license once you complete the course to open a medical shop, to have a startup and form your own company. So that is also an avenue which open up after you do this course. Okay. The third one is for pure students who are academic oriented, very strong, do your M-Pharms, do your PhD, do your research and get into research. That is also a very highly paid job profile, which is there, but it is purely for academic people and people who love to travel. This is another avenue for them as well, because the job profile will ensure that you are on the move continuously. So to start with, we had the actual avenues, and just to finish it, we have interest, that is advertising, business, academics, or travel. If you have interest in all this, this is what pharmacy can offer you to explore.
Fantastic, sir. I hope sir has answered everything that you had in your mind, and hope all the kids who are watching this are watching it with a hawk's eye, and you're very keenly listening to whatever sir is giving to us. Sir, how does one pursue pharmacy? As in, from where does he or she should begin her or his thinking pattern, or from wherever he wants to, what do you say, like you say that even if you don't have a skill, you can still develop it later on, right? But how does one start with, to get into pharmacy?
See, the basic thing, let me just brief you about the course now, that how the course works, okay? Because I suppose people in 10th standard, 12th standard who would be wanting this, that how do we approach and how do we get into pharmacy? If that is the case, let me just address you on that. Now, it is simple that you should have a basic qualification of 10 plus 2, that is 10th standard and your 12th standard, but very important to be a science stream, that is 12th science. You have to be, you can't do your arts and commerce and get into this. So after 10th, you have to take science, 2 years of 11th and 12th, and then you can be eligible to apply for the CET, which is there. Now, the only criteria for this is that the CET has an eligibility. So the eligibility is minimal stake of 50%. So in your 12th standard, for the science group, you should ensure that you have secured a minimum 50% of marks. If you have secured 50% of marks, then you are eligible for this course and to apply for the CET. Now this CET is common. That's a Maharashtra CET, which is common for all colleges. You give that CET, you have your markings, you have your marks, you have your percentile, and then according to that, you get admissions in the colleges. Now, there are certain private colleges also where they have their own set of entrance exams. So half seats are given to government, half they have their own set of exams, and that the way things run as well. Just to brief you, if you talk about, just to make people understand and kids understand that if you're opting for this, Bombay College of Pharmacy at Galina is the #1 pharmacy college, which is there in Mumbai. There are others as well, like Bharati Vidyapit is there. Then you have D.Y. Patils, and now the course has started in NM as well. And then you have one college is in Dombivli also. So colleges are spread across, and some of new have also come up. But if you want to be in top 2-3, one is Bombay College of Pharmacy. Then you have UDCT also offering the course. It is an autonomous institute, but it is offering. So these 2-3 colleges are the top notch if you want to get into this. And if you can get there by studying well, working hard, then there is no stopping, because the avenues open up, because the teachers, the faculty, the infrastructure you have, the exposure you have, because see, as I told you now, before I finished, I was placed. So that's the advantage these colleges give you. Others, you have to work a little more hard. So that is, all about the thing.
So you're saying that, to start with, or is CET the entrance exam?
Exam, yes.
Entrance exams, right? Okay. So the kids who are watching this, I just want you all to gather this up, saying that CEET, right, sir? If I'm not wrong.
We call it as MHCET, Maharashtra CET, MHCET.
MHCET is the entrance exam to get into pharma. So, sir, thank you so much. I mean, we wanted to understand the first step to get there. Wonderful. I hope all the kids are listening, and all the colleges that sir said, which were enlisted by to get into some of the best colleges who are offering this course. Sir, now coming back to some of the basic abilities or some development skills that the kids need to generate, or kid needs to start from when they are little. What is something that you would suggest them, to develop a few skills to get into pharmacy? What they should start with, what they should begin with?
See, as I told you, right at the start, yes, abilities I will talk more, but skill is something you can develop. Will is something which is more important. Okay, so the will has to be there. Skills you can develop. If you are weak at study, you can study well, put your effort, the marks will come over a period of time. But the will to study has to be there. Okay, so skill is something which I personally feel you don't require, it can be developed. It is not the course where the born skills are required. It can be developed over a period of time, So, so that is what is there. But two basic things which I require that every individual should do to get into pharmacy or any of the professional course. One is focus. Very important to have your focus on that what is that you want to get into. Because once you have focus, you start automatically collecting information about the programs. You start collecting, looking into it, how do I get in, or you ask people, how do I get? So your focus has to be very strong onto it, Again, I would like to take an example from a movie itself, because movies people really relate very fast, if you see, because why I say, why I talk movies, because it's very important to be very choosy in terms of what you watch on TV also. With a data pack which is unlimited, there's access to content which is really too much. But to understand what to watch, which movie to be watched, which book to be read is very important. Okay, now if you have seen Milkha Singh, okay, the Milkha Singh, the movie, most of us would have seen it. There is a specific scene in that movie where his officer tells him something that, if you run and if you win, okay, you would get something, and you would get food, and you would not be able to, some things would be given off for you, and you will get full glass of milk. Okay, if you see that scene, the focus of Milkha Singh there is not on winning the race or running it. The focus is on milk. That if I win, I get milk. So what is the focus is what he wants. The result will come automatically. He speaks to his colleagues also. He says in that movie a simple thing, कि जीतूंगा तो या complete करूंगा तो दूध मिलेगा. So the focus was दूध, and he knows if I want that dude, I have to win. So it's very important to, have focus. That's one. And second thing that everyone should develop to, get into this kind of a professional course is an ability of reading. you should read every day 30 minutes. Every morning, 30 minutes you should keep for reading. Now, reading is not studying. Studying is different. Keep your phone off. Keep it on the side. Do not entertain the phone. 30 minutes, complete reading. It can be anything. It can be news. It can be sport, whatever you like, whatever you follow, whatever your passion, but something other than studies. The reading habit will take you really long because it is all about your dedication. You know, it is all about your dedication. If I can show a video, and if it's possible, if we can connect and you can hear that video, I would like to show that video also. Let us look at the video quickly.
Sure, sir.
Can you see this?
Yes, sir, I can.
देख कैसे उखाड़ते हैं अगर तेरी जिंदगी का हो गया हम तो अच्छे से रखते हैं ले फिर आ गए सब राज्य खुश है को क्या लगता था कि नहीं लौटेंगे गलत जब तक तोड़ेंगे नहीं तब तक छोड़ेंगे बहुत लंबा दंगल चलेगा रे तो यार है अभी है कैसे है शानदार जबरदस्त जिंदाबाद हम पत्रकार हैं नाम है आलोक झा भारत समाचार अखबार में लिखे सुने आप कई सालों से पहाड़ तोड़ रहे हैं क्यों तोड़ रहे हैं अपना कब्र खोद रहे हैं मजाक कर रहे हैं तो क्या कहें कि ताजमहल बना रहे हैं अरे आप तो बिगड़ गए लोग कहता है हम पागल हैं जिंदगी खराब कर रहा है आप अपना टाइम खराब मत करिए ये भीतर का काम है जब तक के टूटेगा नहीं बहुत भारी काम ले लिए ठीक है टूट जाए तो बताइएगा आपका फोटो छाप देंगे अखबार बड़े हिमायती बन रहे हैं आइए यानी हाथ लगवाइए आइए क्या हाल चाल दशरथ भाई शानदार जबरदस्त जिंदाबाद बात बताइए कि दुनिया में इतना सारा काम है वो सब छोड़ छाड़ के आपको पहाड़ तोड़ने का काम मिला है भाई अपना अपना हुनर है आप पढ़ाई लिखाई करते हैं हम पहाड़ तोड़ते हैं ताकत कहां से लाते हैं ये प्रेम है पहले अपने जोरों से था अभी पहाड़ से है तो बड़ा बात आप इतना आसानी से बोल दिए पर एक हमें देखिए सच्चा पत्रकार बनना चाहते थे नेताओं का दल्ला बन के रहे अपने आप से घिन आता है तो अपना अखबार काहे नहीं छाप देते हैं अखबार निकालना इतना आसान काम है क्या पहाड़ तोड़े से भी मुश्किल है काम माजी आप सुपरमैन हैं आप मिस्टर इंडिया हैं अकेले 6 हथौड़े से पूरा पहाड़ तोड़ दिए अच्छा एक बात बताइए जिस असंभव काम को संभव करने के बाद क्या कहना चाहेंगे हम तो थे बीमार तो हम क्या कहेंगे भैया कुछ तो कहिए हम तो ये कहेंगे कि भगवान के भरोसे मत बैठिए क्या पता भगवान हमरे भरोसे बैठा हो बड़ा है
Okay, all good.
Sir, I remember this scene. I remember this scene, and I really like the way you always get these little things, because this is how even I relate to things in life as well. I like the way you're getting a certain things which we already have seen, and you're making it again a part of us in a very different way. Like for example, I remember this scene because the thing is, I remember my father narrating this story long back before this movie had come, and he said, yes, there is a guy, and something like this had happened. It's not just a fictional story,
Correct.
it's based on a true story. And he said, there was a time where I was injured, and I used to feel a little negative about things, and he used to always tell me that these are little things. You're not paving a way in between mountain. I used to tell him that something like that is not possible until and unless there was one guy who did it. There's just one guy who did something like that. And when he showed me this movie, I just remembered the same thing, because he also gave me that look, saying that मैंने तेरे को बहुत पहले बोला था, तब तू बच्चा था तब मैंने बोला था, is the thing. And I hope all the kids who are watching this show, I hope you are taking a very good, you're adapting this thing into a very good sense into your life as well. Because sir, right from the beginning, sir, I know for a fact right now that you're a hardcore movie buff. So
No, actually, I'm not. As I told you, but I'm very choosy about my movies.
Acha, okay.
Because I feel if I can get something out of that movie for myself, and I can share that knowledge and correlate my profession and my skills to it, it becomes very easy for me to explain things down the line. So if I want to talk about dedication in my presentation, I show this scene, and I have to talk less after that.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. It has done a lot of talking. You started off with focus. You started off with saying that, after focus, you started off saying that, reading and studying are two different things. I hope all the kids who have been told to read doesn't mean you pick up your school books and you start reading them again and again. The sir was trying to say that you try and read books of a few legends who have achieved stuff. And if you're feeling less in your life, you always have loads of inspirational stories to read, which will pep you up in no time. So very beautifully put, of reading and studying, of focus, of dedication. And thank you for this particular scene that you have shown us. It was really wonderful. I hope all the kids are taking a major and a vital lesson here, because this is what is going to take you further. If you feel that certain things cannot be worked out, or certain things is impossible, this is something that you need to take with you for the rest of your life. Thank you, sir. Sir, moving on to the next question, sir. Sir, what advice you would like to give to the present students, to recognize their capabilities, to understand as to okay, this, like you said, you fell in love after doing the course.
Okay.
For them to understand the course and take it further, what is something that you would suggest to them, sir?
What is more important here is one simple thing, because now you have various tools coming up to analyze yourself. One which is marketed now is the SWOT analysis. Now, this SWOT analysis we do for everything, right from a product to an individual. So just to brief students of 6th standard, SWOT analysis is strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Okay, so we do this to analyze what are these possibilities in terms of individual or a product which are there. So let us put now two things just on a side, and let us talk about strength and weaknesses which are there. But I completely differ on this concepts of strength and weaknesses. Now you asked me that what capabilities they should develop. Okay, it is very important for them to work on their weaknesses. That's fine, but there is a new concept which has come up, which is strengthening your strengths. That's the new tagline which has come across. If you talk about now into marketing, or if you talk about any of the international courses, they will talk about this new concept of strengthening your strength. They will never talk about weakness. Though I'm saying that you can improve the weakness over a period of time. But strengthening the strength is very, 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 very important. Now, why I say this? Okay. Just to take a cue from what you said in the first, that cricket hand-eye coordination. Okay. Now, when you talk about hand-eye coordination, when you said about that, the first player you recollect is Virendra Sehwag. Absolutely right. All commentators keep on talking about it. Hand-eye coordination. Now, if I have to tell Virendra Sehwag, you have a weakness, you cannot defend like Rahul Dravid. You can't defend like Rahul Dravid. Virendra Sehwag will never be Virendra Sehwag, because Virendra Sehwag's strengths are hand-eye coordination. So rather than practicing a defense like Rahul Dravid, it's important for him to develop or strengthen his strengths, which are hand-eye coordination. If you talk about young kids, I can compare Virat Kohli and Rishabh Pant. If I ask Rishabh Pant to play a cover drive like Virat Kohli, he would not be able to play that. But Pant can play a reverse sweep, which Virat Kohli cannot do it to an Anderson. So everybody will work on what? Strengthening your strengths. And that is what I feel that every individual should do and understand, that what is his strength. If his strength is in certain thing, he should start developing that strength more rather than wasting time on his weakness. If he develops his strength to a level, the weakness will automatically go off. Nobody will talk about it. Because finally, that strength will give you success, and people look at the success, not at the weaknesses. That is what is, one thing which I always want to tell. Now, there might be question of kids that, sir, how will we understand strengths? How are our strengths? What are our strengths? Who will tell our strength? Just to tell you and help you out in that as well. Okay, there is this is more towards 10th standard and 12th standard students who can take this. There is a book called Strength Finder 2.0. Okay, that's a book which is there, which has different strengths into it. Now, that book also has a test in it, Gallup test. Gallup is one of the organizations who do this motivational programs and, this manager development programs for various top level organizations. So that's the test which is there in the book. The book is not that costly, it's just 499 rupees, you get the test free. Okay, now when you take that test, it gives you your top 5 strengths. Top 5 strengths. It might be team player or whatever your strengths are. It might be ideation or whatever your skills or abilities are. It will give you those 5 strengths. The book has the definition of those 5 strengths, how to develop those strengths, and what can be your weaknesses also. So if a 10th standard student or a 12th standard student takes this text from this book and read this book, it would help immense. Because let me tell you, when I take an interview or I recruit a person, we ensure that he go under this test. Because we immediately come to know whether he's a team player, whether he can take the team along, how good is the ideation and all. And he has to score well in that test. Perhaps he won't analyze also that, whether his strengths are there. But for me as a recruiter, I should understand that whether his strengths get aligned with me and I can produce well. So that is very, very important. More so when you know your strengths, it is very easy to develop them. And it is very easy to express also in front of anybody that yes, these are my strengths. I have a scientific data which proves that these are my strengths and I am working them to the core. And these strengths, 4, 5, 6 can also help you to choose your profession, choose your field, choose what you want to go. You want to go to science, commerce, arts. This also will help you in that. So this is what I feel that, people should do, develop their capabilities and strengthen their strengths.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. You have given them a ladder which it has made it so easy for them. I'm sure that, suggesting this book, suggesting a few movies. Sir, I just wanted to know, like you suggested this book called Strength 2.0. Are there any websites that, like the entire generation is on the internet right now? So are there any websites which the kids can relate to, or they can, take information from regarding this particular subject, sir?
Which subject?
Regarding pharmacy or regarding anything that
Like,
that they have to go.
if you go on if you go on any search engine, go on Google, just type what you want, it will give you hundreds of things in line, because now the market, the course is very open. If you find how do I get admission, a basic single, how do I get admission in pharmacy, it will show you MHCT, this is the date, this is when you fill the forms, what it is. So it will give you straight away things. So it is very, very, very open to all now. Just have to type anything. Means a simple, stupid question also gets answered on it now.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. That was wonderful. For kids who have missed it, as in the kids who have missed sir talking about the book, we will write about the book in the description box below. So you can refer to the book. As sir said, it will guide you to a lot of different things that you feel that you are looking for. Sir, our little champs are writing questions towards my right side, so I would like to take one of them.
Also,
Which movies or books you would recommend to the kids?
see, I would recommend to see all biopics. Okay, because that will teach you a lot of things. If you listen to any of the top leader or any of the top industrialist, or if you talk about Steve Jobs, if you talk about Abdul Kalam sir, they will always talk about failures. Read more about failures, because that will help you to cope depression. When you understand that this man has failed 100 times and still at that level, because what happens now is people get into depression very quickly. They feel very bad. They feel very sad. They go into a closed zone quickly if they don't score well. They have that peer pressure, pressure from parents as well, not scoring well, comparison with other kids, So I would recommend them to read such book. Now, this Maji, Dashrath Maji, there is also a book called, which is Maji Move the Mountains. So if you are good in reading, you can read that book. If you don't want to read, watch the movie. It's like that. So biopics are something which will always help you, because those are made on individual who has gone through that journey, and his failures and success both are been shown into it. There's another book, a little high for a 6th standard student, but 12th standard student can do it. It is called Peaks and Valley. Okay. So that book will always tell you that you should always work hard when you are at the peak. Because when you are at the peak, the only thing that can happen, you can come down. So when you are at the valley, you will always work hard to go at the peak. But when you're at the top, it is important to do that. And if you don't do that, things will happen what happened to Nokia in mobile phones. They were the only company selling it in India to start with, but didn't ensure that to get their top models here into India. They thought that India market is not developed. Companies came over and they are nowhere now. So when they were at the peak, they should ensure that they do the best when they are there.
A very important and a valuable lesson that sir has given. He's not just provided us with information regarding the subject. He's gone to a parallel path which tells us how to motivate ourselves when we are down and under. Sir, this is fantastic.
I would like to tell one movie as well, which I usually use in my presentations, which I couldn't get it today. I forgot to get that. That is Rocket Singh. Why I want you to do that? Because that's a movie where it will show a person who has always scored less marks, who is not doing good, who has not done well, who doesn't understand numbers, who has failed in his job as well. But he has a passion for something, and the passion drives him to a level which is phenomenal. So you can go and watch such movies which helps you to develop your skills also, because in that movie there's a specific thing that they talk about is understanding what others' interests are also. And if you can correlate other interests into you form a great team, and that works during your college time also, school time also, everywhere. If you take care of other interests also of your peers who are working with you on a project, for example, then the effort that comes across from them is phenomenal. You don't have to push anybody, so you can get into such and biopics which I was talking.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. Thank you so much for this wonderful, wonderful information. It is very, very, I mean, so detailed. You explained the whole thing as to how to connect one thing to the other. I hope kids understand the connection between the two. Not just studying, it's also reading. Not just failure. That there is a stepping stone ahead of failure towards success. And like he said, once you reach the peak, that is the time where all your senses has to be at its peak as well, to stay there and to work really hard. Fantastic, sir. So motivating. It's so wonderful. Sir, I would like to take the next question, sir. It reads, how is the pharma course? How is the pharmacy course? What all do we learn during the course?
See, just to brief you on the pharma course, being very frank, is also very demanding. I will not say that it is easy. It's a 4-year full-time course where you're occupied for the entire day. You have your practicals, you have your returns, you have your vivas, you have your orals, whatever. Everything is there. Let me go ahead and tell you that it is absolutely similar to your medical course without surgery. So first 2 years might be absolutely common, kind of, to level of work I'm talking, the level of effort, because what you learn is all about the drugs, how the drugs perform, how the way it act, what new can be created, how you can do the analysis of it, and all other aspects of it. So a doctor, to operate or to give medicine also, he has to understand how the drug functions. And that is what is been taught to you in pharmacy also. The only thing what is not taught to you in pharmacy is doing a surgery. So if you are good in knowledge, or you say if you go to foreign countries, a pharmacist has a right to prescribe drug, because his knowledge is as equivalent to a doctor. So he is the one who prescribes drug there. So that kind of knowledge is there. So the course is demanding. Yes, it will take a lot out of you, and you have to study really hard for it. There is no second thought into that, because getting into pharmacy, into good colleges, will also take 90 plus marks. Which is, I can't hear you.
Fantastic, sir. I feel you gave a one small little word out of it, which I call the golden word. You said a pharmacist has the right, or he can, or she can prescribe a drug to a person who is in need. There is a lot of responsibility which comes with this, because you're playing, or you are suggesting some drug to a person who's unwell. So, sir, it was really wonderful, because the thing is, I was just about to ask you, can a pharmacist prescribe a drug to anybody apart from, is it legal for him to do that?
In India, it is not legal yet, being very frank to you. India, it's not legal yet. But in Western countries, pharmacist is the one who prescribes drugs.
Fantastic, sir. Sir, coming back to school, as in you have been relating to everything regarding school, but the thing being that, so coming back to the curriculum, I just wanted to ask you, like we say, like, I wanted to be this, but I wish that, this would have been there in our school. It would have really helped me from my school level to develop it and to take it further. So what is that one thing that you thought that, later on, uh, that this should have been there in my school and it would have helped me? I know you fell in love with pharmacy later, and you started loving it only after you started doing the course. But was there anything while doing the course that you thought that, "Arey yaar, if this would have been there, it would have really helped me in school level?"
Just to start with, now the way students are understanding about the course. Okay, now this was not there during our time at all. So in 10th standard, you would don't know what is the content of the course also. Just there's a doctor to be done, there's an engineer to be done, and you have to take science for it. So a guidance into that field is very, very, very important. That's one aspect of it. Perhaps you guys are doing that already. Kudos to you for that. Okay, but another thing which I always felt missing, and which is missing right now also, not in school, but in a lot of pharmacy colleges, lot of management colleges, is a guest lecturers coming and teaching the kids. Now, what do you mean by guest lectures? Guest lecturers means a person who is doing that course. For example, we talk about students. Okay, we talk about students in 10th standard, 8th standard. If you can get somebody who is in the final year B Farm and coming to and talking it about, who better than that can help, understanding that what he is doing and getting things right from the horse's mouth, that I'm in the course, I'm in the college, this is what is expected from you all. Next year, you will be into this college. That's one. Another, to get somebody always from the industry who tells them what is practically required. Okay, now as they say na कि बाबा पूरी जिंदगी handwriting सुधारने में चलेगी और काम कीबोर्ड पे चल रहा है. It is like that. You keep on learning theorems, X, Y, Z. Where are you using it, sir? But yes, you have to learn it. It's a part of curriculum. I will learn it. But who is going to tell me what is required in the industry? So if you can get somebody, in 12th standard students, or, who can tell what is expected from you when you come into this field, it becomes easier for students to connect. Or what, this is required. I don't have this skill. Means if I come into brand management, the first thing I tell student is that you have to be good in ideation. Okay, because you have to create this promos, you have to create this advertisers, you have to create this. So then he knows that I'm not good in ideation. So is this for me? Okay, but I have another option of going into research. I have another option of going into sales and doing well. So I can get into that. Let me not work towards management, but let me work towards sales or research or analysis or, opening a shop kind of a thing. So that really helps. Another thing which I felt missing was, carrying out aptitude tests for 10th and 12th standard students, or perhaps 8th standard, you can have one, 10th standard, you can have the second one. Aptitude tests help children to choose the field they are good at, where their strengths are. The same way Strength Finder helps you. But if school can facilitate this small test, because Strength Finder, I told you, it's for 10th and 12th. For an 8th standard student to select subject and to create interest, you can have a small aptitude test done at 8th standard, and and then it will help him to understand what are his likings, and I suppose once you do the test, there's a counselor who talks with him, understand, and the parents come across also. So there is a parents and children and the counselor interaction happening, and it creates a good thing for the school as well, and for the kid as well in long-term perspective.
Fantastic, sir. Well put. Sir, thanks to our secretary and our chairperson and our academic director, the entire management who came up with this idea of calling professionals and taking the kids and the parents and everybody and all our viewers into a whole different view a whole different world of their own, of where the legends have lived and how what path they have walked. And I really want to thank the school management for this initiative. It's really wonderful. And what you've spoken of is how when professionals come and when they talk and when they give their experiences or they share their experiences or their knowledge, it's a totally different feeling or a scenario that the kids go through. So it is wonderful. Sir, anything that apart from studies, apart from taking up the course, anything that you want the kids to take up, or that you would suggest, that you would push them into, like I would say that, take up music, or take up all those things which will just calm you down onto the other side, because for every positive there has to be a negative, for every negative there has to be a positive, kind of a thing. For every debit there has to be a credit. So how do you balance this whole thing out? How would you help them to balance this whole thing out? How would you do it? Like, what do you do to balance the whole thing out, sir?
It is very important, Rajesh, to pursue your passion. Okay. It might be, as you said, it might be music, it might be cricket, or it might be anything. So if you have that along with it, somebody might say that working is my passion. Okay. And someone might say travel is my passion. Okay. So, but that's okay. That's perfect. But it's very important to have this passion, or what we call it as something which makes you happy doing. If you keep doing that, nothing like it. Means I always wanted to play cricket, for example. Okay, always want to play cricket, and I represented my college, all the colleges, your school. IES, I was leading the school. Then SIS, I was being the captain. Then a Bombay College Pharmacy. So I have continued that liking, or that hobby, if you can say that, and I still play that. Means we have ensured that our company has a cricket team which plays professional cricket. So that is something which keeps us going, And but the most important, you can do all these things. Okay, you can do all these things. But it's very, very important, finally, that if you are working or doing something, you should like that. You should enjoy it. If you do not like it, if you do not enjoy it, and if you're forced to do it, it will create pressure on you. You will feel pressurized. You will feel pressurized because you're not liking that job profile. Now, I like to travel, for example. I like to travel. Okay. Now, this job profile of mine ensured me that I have traveled all over the world. So, if you get to travel, which is your liking, which is your passion, and which is there in your job profile also, and you get to see the world free of charge on company's money, what more you want in life? Other than Latin America, Rajesh, I have done everything. So that's the best thing to do. So try to get into something which you really like. I know a lot of people get into things by default because they are forced to do it or they have no options. But try to find that one thing there which will make you happy. There. Rest, music, everything can be followed. But practically, practically when you get into a corporate field, the time is taken up by the corporate. And with this work from home, your home is also taken up by the corporate. Because right when you are in office, 6:30 the work ends and you are free to explore your hobbies. But this work from home keeps you active till 9:30, 10 because you are at home and everybody feels it is inconvenience.
And the whole world knows, sir, that you are at home.
That's what. So
Sir, any interesting thing that has happened to you, any funny thing that has happened to you, that you feel that I should share this kind of a thing?
No.
This is my last question, and I just want to know as to anything funny that I'm sure that so much of traveling, you must have met so many people. even if I do like 3 or 4 traveling in the flights, I meet like so many people, talk to them, why this and why that. I ask them questions which sometimes just goes over the board, but some people have never didn't mind answering my questions, and some people gave a very elaborate explanation on things, because I wanted to know as to how they got it there. Like for example, I was traveling to Hyderabad, and we were going for a marriage because I had choreographed a wedding. So they gave us first class tickets. And I wanted to know, this multimillionaire who's sitting right next to me, a limousine has come right into the airport to pick him up. I said, what got you here? You're 60 years old, and what got you here? So he very calmly said, first, hard work. I said, that way everybody does. I said, what else apart from that? So he slowly started opening up one card after the other. So it was very interesting to know how he with minimalistic skills and with a sharp memory, how he cut through certain things and he made it there. So it's loads to learn. Likewise, do you have anything interesting, anything that funny, or any inspirational journey, any inspirational thing or person that you met?
Two things. One is not sort of funny, but it makes me smile every time, And one is the incidents in Germany which happened with a German lady. I'll try to tell you these two. Okay. Now, when I started my career, as I told you, I finished my B.Pharm and I got a pre-placement only. So you have a pressure onto you. You have done everything for a job, and now this is the job you have already got before even passing, and you don't want to do it because I wanted to pursue brand management. And there was a pressure, so I thought let me do it. Okay, so I did my production job and this and that I did, and then I realized, okay, but this is not what my passion is, But I did it very sincerely. Being 1.5 year, I did that very sincerely. But my passion, my focus was into brand building. And so then I had to go into sales to understand what is the market all about. So did sales for one year, and that time, if you talk now, people say, "Tu sales में, tu MR का काम कर रहा है, तेरे को तो 90% मिला था ना?" And you feel bad at that time. You feel bad. Okay, it's okay. And when I was doing my manufacturing also, the scope was very limited there, and you move on, you go ahead, your age, you pass on, and then a time comes when you are at a level where you have to not do the things, but you have to monitor a lot of things and channelize a lot of things. So as you move up the hierarchy, things happen in that fashion. So now what happens is, there is this guys from manufacturing, okay. So they usually delay the products, okay. They usually delay the products. And then when we call them and we ask them, why has the product been delayed? So they feel that these people have come out from a management college, straight into the office, and now asking us questions. Okay, so they will tell you, sir, वो क्या बैच बनने में बहुत टाइम लगता है, आपको पता है क्या? ग्रैन्युलेशन होता है, ये होता है, वो होता है, पहले उसका ये होगा, पहले हम उसको एक्टिव इंग्रेडिएंट डालेंगे, उसको सूखने को टाइम लगता है, टाइम लगता है. Then you recollect your those days 15 years back, you were standing there. And then I tell them, sir, मैं प्रोडक्शन केमिस्ट करके काम कर चुका हूँ, एक बैच आपका 8 घंटे में निकलता है, तो कल लोगे तो परसों प्रोडक्ट मेरे को मिल जाएगा. And then they realize, सर इसको तो सब पता है. And then you smile कि they try to fool you off कि सर इसको और 5-6 दिन लगेगा, सूखने को टाइम लगेगा, पैकिंग में टाइम लगेगा. And you know already कि जैसे ही टैबलेट बनता है, पैकिंग लाइन इज रेडी, people are sitting there, it automatically gets packed. So it's the best thing that people can't fool you off, and that's the best thing. When you understand that no job is small, nothing goes waste in life. So I request all the kids also, whatever experience you get, try to gain that. Try to gain that, because practical experience is never lost. You are only going to gain something out of it instead of sitting idle, because there is lot of fan club which tells take a break, do it again. But if you want to take a break also, don't just take a break, utilize that time frame to gain something which is practical. Other important aspects I learned from that lady. I was traveling to Germany, and I was there, and one we were having our lunch, I suppose lunch or dinner, I don't recollect. And there was this group which was there, which was sitting next to us and having food. There was the old German lady who was sitting there, and we were sitting on the side. So, okay, so these people had their food, and they just got up, paid their bill, and they were trying to move off. This German lady called them back. Okay, called them back. They said, "Sir," she was saying, "Sir, you have wasted so much of food. Why is that?" They said, we were full, and we have already paid for the food which is left also, and that's okay for us. That time she said one simple thing: "Sir, money is yours. Resource is of my country. I would not like you to waste our country's resource." And that is what made me understand that how serious they are about their resource, their atmosphere, their life. And that's the reason they go up that high. Because it is easy to compare all the lifestyle there is so good, but why it is good? Because of people like this. So it is very important for us to also channelize our energy and understand and try to contribute to the society also wherever we can. So that is what's one which really I keep recollecting the way she said, because it was nowhere, it was nothing of a concern. They have paid it, they were gone, but just to wake up, call them back, I was really impressed by that old lady.
Fantastic. Traveling teaches you so much, always.
Absolutely.
So kids, I there are two instances that sir said, and it's a lot to take back. First thing he said was the production team was trying to fool him. So you need to have your knowledge in place of your work, of whatever work you're doing, and you need to keep your experience at the back of your head so that you can use it like a samurai, like sir used it. When they were trying to say otherwise. And the second instance is it always is good to give it back, whatever comes to you, because that's how the cycle is.
Yes.
And that's what you will take you higher. And sir, it was wonderful. This didn't seem like an interview. It just looked like we're talking on a cup of coffee. It was wonderful. And I hope today the kids have taken a bank of knowledge back home, and everybody, whoever is watching it, on behalf of you all and on behalf of the entire school, the management, our secretary, our chairperson, our academic director, and the entire management of the school, and everybody whoever is watching and has helped us for behind the scene for this show, I would like to thank you for coming here and sitting here and spreading so much of happiness, knowledge, and everything that you have experienced in your life. It was wonderful listening to you, sir. And thank you so much for coming and for being a part of Prep Talk. On behalf of the school, I would like to sign off. And before I go, I would like to tell all our viewers, please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And we will be back soon with a new guest. Till then, bye-bye.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Piyush ma'am. Thank you so much.
It was quite a perceptive information, and we are obliged to have you on our show, Pharmacist Swapnil Wachkawde, sir. I'm sure the knowledge shared will be put into practice by our young aspirants. Grateful to Mr. Rajesh, who candidly edged all the useful tips. I would like to thank Dr. Yashwantrao Dode World School to organize this show, and also to all our participants. But Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, as many more will be here to share with you a perceptive career and answer all your queries. So be on time for our next show on Saturday, 5 p.m. sharp. Before signing off, do leave your comments for improvement. Thank you all for joining. Stay safe, stay healthy. Sayonara.